Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we are looking at the upcoming game from WizKids, Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught. Now, at Gen Con, I had a chance to demo this game and talked to Alex Davey, who you may be familiar with from games like X-Wing, Legion, and a lot of the Star Wars games that I cover. He's now over at WizKids, and we talked a little bit about Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught. I got a chance to demo this game, and I was given a preview kit for Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught. Now, this is a smaller kit that they're using to run demos. I was given this to take home, and it gives me the opportunity now to create a video for you guys, kind of running you through the demo, showing you some of the components, and giving you a good idea of how this game is going to play. If you like what you see here, definitely subscribe, check it out. Also, we are still giving away a lightsaber, and that's going on until the end of the month, so if you want a chance to win that, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. I've got lots more tabletop gaming videos, lots of stuff from Gen Con. Again, if you want to check out the other stuff, we've got lots of links down in the description below if you want to check out social medias or our Discord, which is very family friendly and covers a lot of Star Wars gaming as well as other gaming as well. But all of that said, let's go ahead and dig into Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught. Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught is a competitive skirmish game, and you're going to be taking on the role of one of the powerful factions from the Forgotten Realms universe in a sort of dungeon crawl, player versus the monsters. So there's kind of like three different sides here. Your party is going in trying to seek treasure and conquer this dungeon, but there's another party in here too, and we both kind of come into the treasure room at the same time, only to find that there's also goblins here, and we sort of have to make choices on whether or not we attack the goblins, try to get the treasure, or attack each other and stop the other ones from making off with the treasure first. What treasure is it we seek? Well, we are looking for the coveted flame tongue in this demo, and that's kind of one of the ways to win. This is going to be a 6-round game, and whoever has the most victory points at the end of the game will win, and Flame Tongue, whoever has this at the end, will get 3 victory points, which is a lot compared to everything else. So we're going to be moving around on this kind of square-based board, moving our characters, and we have some interesting characters. We'll look at the 2 factions that we're playing here a little bit more closely. So first team we're going to look at is our Zhentarim heroes. We're going to start off with Rock Piratrix, the clan list. This is Rock Piratrix's miniature. These are all coming pre-painted, pre-assembled, so those of you who do not like having to build and paint your minis are in luck because you are getting pre-painted miniatures here. Another cool thing is they do have clear bases, and on the bottom it's going to tell you who they are and also the faction symbol, which is also going to be, the Zhentarim is going to also be on the back of the card here. So you're going to have some dials that are going to have some really cool features, and in addition to that, you'll be reminded of your clan on the back. Now, Rock Piratrix, the clan list here, has a couple of interesting things. First thing I want to tell you guys is how many actions you have. When we're activating a character, we have 3 different actions we can perform. We have a standard action, a move action, and a bonus action. A standard action is usually an attack, a move action is usually a move, and a bonus action is usually something like opening a treasure chest or maybe even triggering some special ability. The S symbol you'll see here is going to indicate that for him to do a dagger attack, a melee attack, that's going to be a standard action, as are most attacks. But sometimes special things like Burning Hands, which is a cool spell, is also a standard action, so you have to choose which one of those. You can always downgrade a standard action to a move if you need a second move. You can always downgrade a move to a bonus action if you needed to do, like, open a chest and do some other bonus action. So you can always downgrade, but you can never upgrade them. And so basically what we're looking at here is how he does a melee attack. It's going to be a standard attack. This next symbol here indicates what type of damage. There's physical, there's arcane, and there's also divine. There's going to be, of course, the target. It's going to be one enemy at range 1. Range 1 is going to be orthogonal or diagonal. However, you can only move orthogonally, all right, but you can always melee also diagonally. You're going to get a +5 to hit, and this is going to roll 2 damage if it does hit. How we roll dice is we're going to roll 2 d20s, and you'll roll with advantage. So that means you will basically you roll 2 d20s and you get rid of the lowest one, unless of course you have a 1 in there. So in this case, and now the demo kit did not come with dice, so I'm using some of my own. So I rolled a 19 and a 19. Wow! Okay, I did not rehearse that. That's pretty cool. All right, so that's probably going to hit just about everybody because we have a +5 to hit on there. And so we would compare that with the other person's defense value. Of course, we have our own defense values right here. If I was rolling against another player, I'd compare that against their defense value. We also have Firebolt if we wanted to do that instead of melee attack. That is going to be an enemy at range 2 to 5, also +5 to hit and deals 2 damage. If you roll a 20, you get a critical, and it'll tell you what your critical effect does there. And it's going to do these countdown dials. The countdown dials are going to be indicated at the bottom here. Let's talk about those. You also have special abilities right here, which are going to talk about what your special character's special ability is right here. You'll also gain experience, which is really cool. When you hit things or when you kill things, you're going to get experience. And then, of course, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once you hit 5 experience, boom, you're going to level up. And the really fun part about leveling up is that you're going to have some cards here. And when you level up, you'll get to pick one of these cards and then apply that to yourself. Like, hey, you know what? I want better armor. Boom. All right. And so now there's not a whole lot of, like, you're not playing an entire D&D campaign here, but you can level up to 2 times in a single game. So it's not a complete campaign that you have to keep track of everything, but you're going to get a little bit of that micro campaign kind of feeling of leveling up in every single skirmish battle, which is really, really fun. And I really like that. Now, these bottom areas, we also have these countdown dials, right? And so we want to start the game with everything on a check. That means it's ready to go. And then if I want to cast Burning Hands as my standard action, this one has a cone effect. The cone effect is really cool because it will go, let's say I'm standing here, it'll go out 1 square from me. Then it'll go out another square up to 3. And then it'll go out another square up to 5. Boom. And it goes out 3 squares, increasing by 1 on the sides each time. So big triangle, +7 to hit. It's going to hit everybody in there. And that does 3 damage. And it's a standard action, it's arcane, and it sets its countdown timer to 5. So after I cast Burning Hands, boom, well, I turn it this way, to the 5. And at the end of every round, once everybody's done, at the end step, we're going to take all of these down. They're going to take them down. They're going to tick down, and sometimes extra things will allow me to tick them down as well. For example, my Dragon Blood, right? After I suffer damage, I get to get angry and then tick these down even again. Once it's all the way down at the check mark on my next activation, I can use this again. So this way it allows me to have some powerful spells, but I'm not casting them all the time. Same thing with Fireball. Of course, a Dungeons & Dragons game has to have Fireball, the most amazing spell ever. This is going to target 1 space, and it's going to hit a complete cube all the way around that space, and then 2 damage to everybody. It's +6 to hit. Also has a 5-round cooldown timer. Of course, it can be modified by certain things. People also have an opportunity attack. This is usually a reaction. And this is really cool. If somebody is adjacent to you and they try to move away, you're going to be able to make an attack against them, rolling only 1 d20. So you won't have advantage on the opportunity attack, but it's still a free attack. But of course, boom, you're going to not be able to do that over and over and over again. You're going to have your own restrictions. So I love these because a countdown timer of 5 could end up only being a once per game ability. But in this case, you can really pick when you want them to use them. It can be a very, very powerful ability, but you won't necessarily exploit it by doing it over and over again. Pretty cool stuff. We also have Bedlam the Warlock here, and she's a tiefling too. I like her. And of course, it does say Bedlam. And she's a little different, right? She is going to gain XP automatically at the end of her activation, so she levels up fast. And then she's got different things. She's got a strike specialty here that only has a 3 cooldown. It's a stronger attack, but it gets an additional +3 to hit when you're making a melee attack. So you can use your Packed Blade, which already has a +5, but you can give it an extra +3 and an extra damage. But you can only do that once every 3 rounds, which is nice, but it's going to consume both your standard and your bonus actions. So you won't be able to open a treasure chest if you're trying to sneak attack or do a really nasty strike on certain people. And she's also got a curse, which gives her this fancy little token that she can put on somebody that's going to match her symbol. And of course, if she damages somebody with a curse, she'll be able to it says it in the rule book because curse is a standard effect, but she'll get an extra damage on them. If they die, she actually heals, and then this one comes back. So this one's a little different because it doesn't have a countdown timer. It's either off or on. So there's a lot they can do with these styles. And then she's got Hellish Rebuke, where if she's damaged, she can pop her Hellish Rebuke if it's ready, and then deal the exact same amount back to the attacker. Also, when characters take damage, you're going to start the game like this. When characters take damage, they're going to start boom, boom. Oh, they're losing health, losing health, losing health. Oh, now they're slowed down. She's in the red now. Oh no, she's going to die soon. Oh no, down. She's really. Oh, only 1 health left, and boom, dead. So that's kind of how those work. It's a little bit like if you ever played Hero Clicks, it's going to be very similar to that. Now it's time to take a quick look at the Harpers. We're going to start off with Grabbleshanks. Here we go. He is a happy little goblin, and he's ready to shoot some people. And there we go. He's got his name on the bottom there. And Grabbleshanks is got his dagger and his short bow. And of course, that's the melee and ranged symbol, right? Range 1, like most melee attacks, he's got his 2 to 6. So he's got some pretty decent range on there, +5 to hit. If he rolls a critical, he's going to gain extra 2 damage. He gains XP after he defeats a character. Plus, of course, you're also gaining XP every time you do actually attack somebody and inflict damage. So if you get a successful attack, you're going to gain XP for there too. Now, an enemy character can be an enemy's actual character, the hero, or a goblin, right? They're all considered enemies. For a bonus action, he can use a double shot, which is going to be a whole nother. So he can actually make 2 separate attacks on a round. However, it's still going to trigger his cooldown, right? He also can mark somebody. That's going to let him, if he marks somebody for a bonus action, they're going to get that little mark token. It's going to match his color. It's going to go like this, and this will stay with whoever it puts it on, and then they're going to gain an extra. He's going to gain an extra damage, and then similar to Bedlam's, he's going to have it either on or off, and then he also has that reaction right there. We also have Lightning Dancer here. Lightning Dancer is kind of brandishing 2 swords. And honestly, for pre-painted minis, like these are not half bad. Like there's really good paint applications on most of this guy. And this is just like a preview version. The sword's a little bent there. It's like softer plastic, but pretty cool. And if you don't like the minis, you can swap out for your own. But I think it's really cool. Some of the ones they had on display were like really big. They had like a black dragon and some other really fancy ones on display as well. So I'm definitely interested to get like the whole core box and even expansions for this, because this looks like a fun game. But Lightning Dancer here is a little bit different, right? So no ranged attack on Lightning Dancer, but we've got a long sword. Typical melee at range 1, +5 to hit and 2 damage, and then critical. You can basically get an extra damage, and after the attack, you can move the target 1 space, which is really nice when we get to combat and you can see how the goblins are going to attack, because yes, it's not just us versus the other adventure party. There are monsters in this dungeon as well. Lightning Dancer has a slightly different ability, and that instead of just gaining an extra XP after they kill somebody, he actually gains an XP after he is attacked. So this dude wants to be right up front and drawing everybody's fire to level up extra times, which is really cool. He can charge, which is move and then make a free melee attack, which is nice. And that's a standard action, but that means, hey, you still have your move and bonus actions, which is very cool. And then challenge, which is pretty nice. That can move somebody closer to you. So it kind of makes up for the fact that Lightning Dancer doesn't have the ranged attack. You can move. There's a lot of abilities here to kind of reposition people as well. And then, of course, we have our kind of reaction to hit somebody whenever they're trying to move away from us as well. So here's kind of the board as it's set up in this scenario. We have our starting areas on these sides, and we have goblins in the adjacent corners, and then 4 treasure chests. There are certain parts that we can't move or draw a line of sight through. So the big chest or the big throne in the middle, you can't see through. There's lines that are subtly not drawn on there. Also, these big statues on the side, if you'll notice right here, there's no line through that, so that means that's just a big piece. So it's basically terrain features are built into the game board, which makes for much quicker play. And of course, if you want to put terrain things, if like some people get really into this, I can see people even 3D printing stuff to make the boards really, really pretty. And of course, the same rule set can be compatible because this is a standard grid with a lot of maps and existing terrain. So you can use, you can build your own scenarios if you want to do that as well. So I'm going to kind of simulate a standard turn here. What you'll do is you'll roll for initiative. You'll hand out these initiative cards. and there's only going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. The monsters are going to be going at initiative 10.5 in this one, and of course the goblins have their own card. They have an AC of 15, and they move 3. They're going to move towards the closest enemy at the end, and they'll swing their axe or short bow, and they will automatically hit. They don't actually have to roll. So and they have 4 health each, so they're not easily killed because they're kind of tough goblins, right? They're not like one-shot goblins. They've been working out a little bit. So we've got these, and basically we'll random and then random them out, and you kind of put your card face down so your opponent doesn't know like who's going first and who's going second. And granted, while we have 2 people on each team, you can play this with 4 players, everybody controlling a character, and play a team game. But I think it plays really well as a 1 versus 1 game where you're controlling multiple characters. This way, in case somebody does get eliminated, you're not kicked out of the game altogether. However, if your whole team gets eliminated, the game will end because you're done. And you weren't able to achieve victory by getting the Flame Tongue or by getting the most victory points or any other treasure, because there's other treasures as well. So what we'll do is let's just say that Rock Piratrix, I'll get his name right one of these days. Rock Piratrix is going to go first. We'll reveal initiative 1. He's going to start us off. And he's got a standard action, a move action, and a bonus action. I don't have to take these all at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a move action first. 1, 2, 3. He has a movement of 4, as indicated by his movement here. This is AC and, of course, his health, right? So I'm not going to, well, not AC, his defense number. I'm not going to do a 4th move. I'm going to just stop right there. Now, I can't split up my movement, right? So I couldn't, do 3 spaces, then do a bonus action to open this chest, and then have 1 more move. So you have to completely finish 1 action before you move on to the next. So I'm going to stop my move 1 point early because I want to throw a firebolt at this dude, but I don't want to get close enough to him where he's going to melee me. I want to just stop right here. And then I'm going to do my bonus action. I'm going to pick up this chest. We're going to open the treasure chest and see what happens. Now, inside the treasure chest, there could be one of 4 different things. We have these different tokens, whether it's going to be a potion, a piece of armor, another vial, or the lovely Flame Tongue. We'll kind of randomize these. We can put them in a little bag, pull one out, and we'll just say, in this case, I'll pull out this card here, and that's going to match up to the different potion. Basically, you have loot cards, right? And so this is kind of another dungeon crawl aspect. So I just got the Armor of Elvenkind. Enemies cannot take reactions after your moves. So I can get up close to somebody and then like maybe move away. You won't be able to do that attack of opportunity on me, which is really nice since that's so common amongst these characters. So I'm going to keep that the whole game, which is very fun. Now, another cool little bonus is after I open a chest, I get an XP for that. So there we go. I'm 1/5 of the way towards leveling up and picking one of these cool bonuses. So I really love the character designs in these. It's just awesome. And now I did a move, I did a bonus action. I still have my standard action. So in this case, I could, if I had moved closer, I could use my dagger. But I want to cast some spells, right? So I want to do Firebolt, but I could do Burning Hands. Or I could do Fireball. But since I only have 1 target up here, and the enemy team is all the way over here, which is way too far, right? Because I have like range 2 to 5 on a lot of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't quite have range to that, so I'm just going to attack. All right, so this Firebolt attack gives me a +5 to hit. The Goblin's armor is 15, so I need at least a 10 here. And I'm hoping I don't get a 1 on either one of these. Here I got a 4, so that would be a miss. But since I do roll most of my attacks with advantage, I got a 16 on this one. A little hard to read in this camera angle. But yeah, we got a 16 there. So that is, combined with my +5 to hit, is going to give me 21, which is definitely more than the Goblin's value of 15. So that's going to be a hit, and it deals 2 damage. And so I'm going to take my we've got our little damage markers too. Like, they thought of everything here, right? We got the little damage markers. We're going to put those out there. So he's not dead, but I did hit him, so I'll gain an XP for that. If I had killed him, I would have got another XP. Right, and so that's kind of a cool thing. You want to level up, and then it's off to whoever has number 2. And in this case, maybe it's somebody on the other team. All right, so at initiative 2, Lightning Dancer is going to go. Lightning Dancer has no melee attack, so Lightning Dancer is going to do a move attack. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't quite reach. Let me slide this out. Can't quite reach the goblin over here. So he's going to use his charge. Boom. And we'll set that to 3. Doesn't have to go to 5 because there's certainly the option for certain things to increase charge, right? I haven't seen anything like that in this demo, but there certainly could be like negative effects or whatever that give everybody +1 charge to stop, or they're not charged here, but they +1 on their counter to kind of say, hey, no, one more turn until you can use your refresh abilities. And so the charge is going to let them move and then make an axe attack, and that's going to be their standard action. So we're going to roll 2 dice again on this little goblin here, and see what we get. We got a 10 and a 7. Oh, this might not hit. Let's see. So the 10, the goblin, I need 15. The longsword is +5 to hit, so that we're exactly there. We did just manage to get a 15, and again, I'm not like kind of doctoring these rolls ahead of time, so that's pretty cool. That's gonna be 2 damage on the goblin. That's gonna give me an experience, and for my bonus action, I'll go ahead and loot, and I pulled the sword, which is gonna be the flame tongue. So Lightning Dancer did find the flame tongue, so what I'll do is I'm gonna put this sword underneath him. I'll put it, I'm gonna put it on his card. But if I get hit, I'm gonna drop the flame tongue. So this is like part of the scenario's rules that was described to us, where they were going to basically, it's so hot to hold on to it, it can do a lot of extra damage, right? And of course, if we have it at the end of the game, whoever holds it at the end of the game gets 3 extra victory points. But it's a normal standard action to swing it, +6 to hit and 3 damage, and it has its own special critical effect. So it burns bright. It's going to hit. Now, I probably should have picked that up before I did my attack. But I couldn't, because I was just a little too far, right? So that would have been cool, though, if I would have picked it up first, because then I might have gotten more damage in. So that's going to do it for Initiative 2. Now, Initiative 3 also went to the Harper's team over here. So Grabbleshanks. Goodness, I'm going to get sued for getting these names wrong. Grabbleshanks is going to go next. And so the cool thing about the initiative is because you can actually do like a 1-2 combo punch, and maybe, especially when you get closer to the enemy team and you start attacking them, you can kind of maybe potentially go back to back, which is nasty. So Grabbleshanks is going to do a move, and I can hit from. We're going to try and see if we can get the chest and also finish off the goblin. So Grabbleshanks is gonna. He doesn't have line of sight through this guy, because you're basically going to draw a line of sight from any corner to any other corner, and if you can do it without it being obstructed, and I don't think I can get through this square and this square both right now. So we're going to move first. And we have a range 2 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll stop there at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're definitely range of this guy. So I'm gonna loot first, and we're gonna gain. We get this potion here. And let me find where my potions are, because that's a cool little potion. Oh, there we go. It's gonna be a potion of fire breath. It gives me fire breath, which is another cone attack. But I'll lose this card if I suffer damage. So I'm holding this very volatile potion. And it has the critical effect of an extra damage, but then I lose the card too. So what I want to do is just drink a little bit of it, right? Like it's so thematic. Like this potion is like it's like really good whiskey, right? But I don't want to drink too much, because then I get the critical, and then it does more damage and burns twice as bright, but then it burns out. But then again, if I get shot or if I suffer damage, it's gonna explode in my hand, right? So that's pretty cool. So I've got that potion. I'm not gonna do that here though, because it's a cone attack. It would hit my own guy as well. So I'm just gonna ranged attack into this goblin, and since I'm Grabbleshanks, I'm gonna use the short bow and do a +5 to hit. So let's roll 2 dice here and see what we get. I got a 14. And we got a 6. The 6 wouldn't have done it, but good thing we have advantage. So we'll use that 14 plus the 5 is going to give us 19. That is going to do 2 more damage to this guy. That's going to kill him. And that's going to give me a victory point since I killed an enemy. So that's 1 victory point towards the end of the game. That's why that doesn't happen too often, right? So that's why holding the sword at the end gives you 3 extra victory points. So that's important. If I kill another player character, that's going to be 2 points. If I hold the sword at the end, it's going to give me 3 points. So that's kind of how the victory points work. So it's like there's a lot of different paths to victory, right? But Grabbleshanks is going to gain some XP for making a shot that hit and also defeating an enemy character. So he's going to gain two experience points there. So pretty cool stuff. And you're going to need those experience to level up. And then we'll go with Initiative 4 at the end, who's going to be Bedlam. All right, so Bedlam's going to go. And now, at the beginning of a normal game, I might want to just go for the treasure chest. But in this case, I'm going to sidestep like the normal course of play to demonstrate a little bit of PvP combat. So I'm going to use my movement, which is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to try to attack him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's not going to do it. Let's go. Let's say I started here. I'm going to fudge it a little bit just to show you. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to say that I'm going to go for a ranged attack on a Lightning Dancer here. Now, I wasn't actually within range, but for purposes of the demo, I'm just going to say, let's say I had one more space. So I'm going to go with Eldritch Blast here, which is a range 2 to 5. It's only a +4 to hit and does 2 damage. So I'm going to try and see if I can hit Lightning Dancer there. Now, I'm still going to roll my dice, and I'm going to roll against Lightning Dancer's defense here, which is 16. So it's a little bit higher than the Goblin Guard. And I'm going to show you guys just kind of what happens when we do all of this. So I did get an 11, which with the +4 to hit would only be 15. But I did roll a 16 also. So since I have advantage, we're going to go ahead and, we would just do that. Now, if I didn't have advantage, I might have just had the 11. That would have been a miss, and I wouldn't get any experience for that. But since I hit, I'm going to deal 2 damage. And now, a couple of things happen here. First off, I do gain an XP automatically. I'll also gain an XP at the end of my activation, which is nice if I didn't open the chest or do anything else. But the other cool thing is that Lightning Dancer, you always read your cards, right? You gain an XP after you're attacked by an enemy. And since I did move, opened a chest, and I attacked, but since I also am being attacked by an enemy, that puts me up to 3. That means on my next activation, I might be able to level up. Which is pretty cool. And then, so Lightning Dancer will be like, hey, and if I'm getting attacked that much, I may want to get something like that's defensive, right? And so like these are some of the options that Lightning Dancer has. So again, pretty cool stuff. So I kind of like that. And so that like maybe the round ends there. Now this goblin was defeated, right? But he's going to respawn over here on this side of the board, about right here on the edge. And then you have another respawn spot on the other side. But since this other goblin over here didn't die, he's still got the 2 wounds, he's going to move towards the closest enemy and up to 3, and then he'll attack. He has both a melee attack and a ranged attack. He's going to automatically hit. So my lovely rock Piratrix is going to take a damage. Boom, and down you go, right? So that's kind of how the end of the round works. Then we'll move on to round 2. I'm going to play 6 rounds of this, keeping track of victory points, who has the sword, and all of that. Now, the interesting thing is, another thing that I forgot to mention is that when I hit Lightning Dancer, he does drop this sword. So if I can win initiative and get over to him and pick it up before he activates again, I can snatch that sword away, and that would be a really cool thing. So that's kind of what we were trying to do. So there's both combat, there's choices on like PvP or PvE, and then there's also some objective play as well. Now, I want to point out, I couldn't have gone for grapple shanks here because of the throne in the way. It does block line of sight. So that's a quick preview of Dungeons & Dragons Onslaught. Big thanks to Alex Davey and WizKids for hooking me up with this awesome preview kit, and it's got a decent amount of replay value too, because you kind of want to, even though it's like a short scenario, I still want to try and play both sides, see if you can like level up a character multiple times, and try different strategies on like going for chests first, or maybe going for trying to eliminate, like focus on one person, so now your opponent is like down to only one person left on their team. There's a lot of different ways to approach this game, and I'm really anxious to see the scenarios, everything else that comes in the core box, as well as any expansion that come out for this as well. This looks like a very fun game, and the fact that it's got pre-painted miniatures that are pre-assembled and on the clear bases too, I think is gonna work well. Plus, you can also use these same miniatures for your D&D campaigns too, if you especially like, you know what, I really like this tiefling, and I play a tiefling, so there we go. So like you have a lot of options there. It looks fun. Can't wait to find out more as more becomes available. Stay tuned. We'll be covering this game more in the future. If you want to learn more, you can head over to WizKids. I'll put a link in the description below. We'll talk to you guys later. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. So say we all. Always wash your socks, and goodbye there.